Alright, how's it going? Just thought I'd make a little video tour of all the plants I've got here. Seeing as pretty much the end of winter now. 20-degree day, gorgeous. So yeah, seeing as everything's going to start popping off, I thought I'd just document the progress of it. So for the most part, everything's in pots because I'm renting. I've got a few plants down there along the fence line that I've planted in ground, and sort of the shabby little doghouse we got. But yeah, most of the action is back here. Lizzie out of it. She loves chasing bees. She never learns though. Twice you've been stung, still never learn. Alright, so mostly in here we got tropicals along this protected sort of protected area. This was meant to act as a shade cloth. It's been somewhat effective. It's just layers of bird netting, but for the most part it's kept the tropicals alive. We have had a few deaths over winter. 2 guavas didn't make it last month. We've got the China pear and another guava that I lost, and that was the acerola cherry, I believe. Lost that as well. But everything else is doing alright. So I'll take it from the start. I'll show you what we got here. So this is the guava section. I think we did have 12 at one stage. Now I think there's 9 left now. But yeah, they're doing alright. We've got a few different varieties. Mexican cream. What do we got there? Starling's white. 2 of the pink Hawaiians. Got the Amman. They're all doing pretty well. We've had fruit off this one, but it didn't end up growing too big, so it's pretty bitter. But you can see there, a bunch of fruit coming in for spring. And the 2 that died were just out here, so they didn't have much protection, so I'd say that's why they died, just frost damage and wind damage. But this one was also a little bit further out. It did die back a bit, but now it's coming back pretty well. But new growth on mostly everything. So yeah, so about 9 guavas, doing alright. These are all less than a year old. That's the oldest one I've got, which was covered in leaves all winter. Now it's just started to drop. So, but even still, there's, if I can pick it up, flower buds coming along. So yeah, should be getting some fruit, at least off the Hawaiian. And that's a native sandpaper fig. We did have one little one off that, but again, wasn't properly ripe. Jabatacaba's under here. I've had to put some netting over it because the chickens just love eating the little leaves. But yeah, Jabatacaba's doing pretty well. I've got 4 of those in total. Got 4 longans as well. This longan's, yeah, hasn't done the best, but this one's probably the most attractive looking one. A little bit of new growth on the inside. What else have we got? So I've got the name of this. I think this was maybe a Brazilian cherry, which has lost a little bit of its leaves, but coming back. You can see the dogs get into the garden. The chickens tend to perch here near the avocados. So and they take all the mulch off and expose the feeder roots, which isn't ideal, but as you can see, they're still doing alright. New growth everywhere. If I can focus, no. So this is the warts, or the Wirtz avocado. So that's doing pretty well. And then I think that's just a Hass, and I think this is a Hass as well. Yeah, grafted Hass, which are both doing pretty well. I did have a flower set on this last year, but then they all fell off. I got 3 black sapotes. 1, 2, 3, which are doing alright. Not a lot of new growth. Sort of burnt off in winter. There we go, in the back corner here, still haven't woken up yet, but we've got, what are they called, persimmons. So we've got the Ichikjiro, I don't know how to pronounce that, and the Foyu. I got one fruit off this, the Foyu last year. Oh no, sorry, off the Ichikjiro, one fruit, so came some more. All the other dead ones that didn't make it. Did I already say Mexican guava or Chilean guava? Chilean guava. Two of those. I've only had one pretty poor fruit off of the for those guavas. What else we got? We got all the yellow cherry guavas. What are they called? Lemon guavas, and we got a couple of strawberry guavas as well, which are possum attacked this one, as you can see. Stripped bare, but even still. Yep, not going to focus. Yeah, new growth coming on it, and flower buds as well. Whoa, not going to focus for me. But yeah, so I think there's what, 6 or 7 or... Yeah, I think 7 of these are strawberry and lemon guavas. And what did I miss? The this white shatut, which the other day I attempted to market, but then the chickens ate all the foil off, so that's probably going to die, so I'll have to cut that off and take some cuttings off it. But as you can see, waking up pretty well. What have we got over here? Salt bush, which is in a tiny pot, but it's rooted itself in the ground, so I just leave it. It's kind of nice and it acts as a bit of a wind break. Jacaranda, which is in a tiny pot, needs to be up-potted. So yeah, pretty much everything is in fabric pots, which work good, except for, you know, the fact that if you leave them too long, they'll just root into the ground, and then if you rip them out, you'll destroy most of the root system. But yeah, so this is sort of the Feijoa patch. I think there's about, I haven't counted, but there's pretty much every variety I can get my hands on. So there's the large oval, a few seedlings, we've got the white goose, I lost the tag for this one. Half of them are buried under soil. Got the Apollo, nuts and mutts here, whatever, and then the mammoth as well, and then another of the nuts and mutsy, whatever it's called, which has grown the best, really. That's sort of the tallest one. And this one over here was, I think, a marcot that I got off some old dude in, I think it was Coburg or something, which is pretty good. But again, the possums attacks a little bit of that. Got a loquat. And then down here, these are all pretty new. Got these off dailies. These are all bare rooted. I didn't have enough soil, so it's sort of a soil mixed with cocoa peat and some nutrients. Probably have to pot those up again. But yeah, got all sorts of currants, black currants, gooseberry. I think that's a raspberry. And then a whole bunch of mulberries, which I've never tried. The only mulberry I tried was last season, was from the white shatut, and I got one sort of semi-ripe one, which was delicious. But I think I kind of prefer the tart, the sort of tart, more tart ones. But this is the Hicks Fancy, which is pretty early to bloom. You can see there's heaps of all over, it's covered. Going to be packed, and then a whole bunch of others as well. I've got another white shatut here, which is a little bit later. Oh no, yeah, pretty much popping at the same rate. This is a little bit earlier. I've got some more gooseberries here. Another gooseberry. What have we got here? It's a pomegranate, and then just mulberries all the way back here. I think that's a white mulberry, and these are just seedlings I bought from Bunnings. I've got a tamarind up there as well. More just ornamental, I think. And then all my brother's stone fruit. So we got nectarines mostly, some peaches. The peaches are just packed. Bees loving it. And then it's more full-size nectarines. The others are dwarfs. These two are full size, which aren't growing too well. But yeah, one of the nectarines is already setting fruit and pumping out leaves. The others are catching up. Down here I got a native finger lime, which I think last season I got about maybe 6 finger limes out of it. Just sort of the green fleshed variety. And then yeah, so that's basically the little orchard here. Just keen for these to start bulking up. I'll probably have to separate these a little bit once they grow leaves, otherwise they'll shade each other. And yeah, Luna, this little one loves getting into the garden. Yeah, so that's basically it for this little patch. Then I've got a greenhouse in here which I've taken cuttings of oh yeah, I've got a lychee in there as well which I've brought in. But yeah, bunch of mulberry cuttings. Nothing too attractive. Fig cuttings. I do have it in here a barco as well, which is doing alright. And oh yeah, another jaboticaba as well, large leaf, which I brought in here until I'll pot up. Okay, and then the other jaboticaba, half eaten by chickens. Okay, I might go around and show you the plants on the fence line. So these are the ones sitting just outside. They're outside because I think I can handle the sun a little bit better. Mostly the citrus, macadamias. What else have we got? Yeah, a bunch of figs here. That's just a lilac. I think they smell wonderful. Black Genoa, Preston Prolific, White Adriatic, and one I bought from, I think, Mulgrave, which I tried to market, but again, the chickens attacked it, so I'll need to fix that up. So I came for a few figs, and then this is a fence line. Another one of my brother's stone fruits waking up. I think it's a nectarine. Then a feijoa I put in the ground. That's a English gooseberry, I think, which we haven't had any fruit off yet. Little apple tree. Some grapes. What else we got? Did these yesterday. These are all capsicums. Got some sweet ones and little yellow banana ones. Might have to move these because it doesn't get a lot of sun near the fence line here compared to the rest of the backyard. It's an ornamental pear or plum. Raspberries coming back in. Waking up. This is a white mulberry, which I thought would be awake by now, but it's not. Oh, and I skipped another Hicks Fancy, which ideally I should be trimming down because it's about the size of a house. But even this is waking up a little bit. There's Larry. And it's got a bit of citrus here and a little unattractive herb garden. And then that's the backyard. This eucalyptus I planted about 1.5 years ago from a little tube stock, and it has, well, it's grown a bit too tall. I might have to cut that eventually once it shades the garden. That's Frederick and the girls. Little bean box, and then yeah, another stone fruit. I think it's a nectarine plum. It's going alright. We'll need to pot that. Did these yesterday. A few tomatoes. I've had terrible luck with bananas. It's because I water them in autumn and then they just end up rotting. That's probably already dead. But I might separate these and then upload them this season. Try my luck with those. Got some pepinos we took from cuttings. Blueberries up there. Got another blueberry back there. These are up high because the chickens just strip them. Two of those look empty because the chickens ate them. But they'll pop back. We've got another loquat here. This one I picked up recently from Garden World. This is called the suburbs prolific, and I got it with the fruit on it. So came some loquats early this season. Tamarillos, of course, that just grow so well. Brother's fig, no, not fig. What are these called? Olives. Passion fruit. I chucked this passion fruit last year, that's sort of 1 year's growth. We've got a little bit of, well, we've got 2 fruits in there. Hanging away. Another feijoa I chucked in the ground. I put a lot of stuff in the ground just so it's less work for me watering in summer. But what have we got? Another mulberry, black English. I've never actually tried a proper mulberry, so I'm hoping they're good because I bought about 10 of them. Another citrus, I think this is a Valencia orange. Another Jostaberry, English berry. And that's essentially it. I got a couple of garden beds I'll show you. One of the first garden beds I made. Not doing too well. I think there's a rat in the garage that keeps eating some of my seedlings. Haven't caught him yet. Just a few greens. And this is the most recent garden bed we built. Again, just for greens, which is doing surprisingly better, seeing as it's, you know, more shaded. But yeah, so 1 tomato in the back, mostly just beans for the rest of it. Here's a little pond area. We did have ducks in it at one stage, but the neighbourhood cats killed them one night. Still nice. Got a little mulberry in the back there as well. It's starting to come. And then tamarillo. And that's some type of berry that hasn't grown very well. And that's a berry from Brazil that I forgot what it is. It was going so well in a pot, then I put it in the ground, and now it's just stopped, so I think this whole patch is bad soil. And then we've got an ugly little garden bed here as well, which this tomato was a volunteer from last year. I had, yeah, it was just sort of under here once I took everything else out, so I thought I'd just trellis it up, and already got tomatoes nearly ready for the season. This is a cherry tomato, this one. And the chickens got in here and basically destroyed everything, but that'll come good. So yeah, that's about it. So I'll might do an update in another few weeks once everything comes alive fully. I'm just hoping I don't lose any more guavas. But yeah, should be jam-packed come mid-spring. Again, gonna have to exclude these guys somehow, especially once there's fruit everywhere. Alright, well, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you later.